From MontanaSports.com, this is MTN Sports Extra.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Sports Extra on this Saturday night. I'm Tom Wiley. Thanks for spending part of your evening with us. We start tonight with Montana State hitting the road to San Luis Obispo, California, looking to keep their perfect Big Sky record intact against Cal Poly. The Bobcats haven't lost to the Mustangs since 2014, but Cal Poly has proven this season they're no easy out. MTN's Casey Conlon has your highlights.
Hello everybody. 24 hours after Montana continued their perfect season and run in the top 5 of the SES rankings, Montana State trying to match them with their 6th straight win at Cal Poly today. Not much going on in the first quarter of this one, just an MSU field goal. So we're going to jump straight to the second. Montana State with 4th and 1 at Cal Poly's 8. They go for it. Adam Jones stuffed up the middle. Head coach Brent Vigen not happy about it, laying into the offense on the sideline afterwards, and it looked like it worked. Next possession, Justin Lamson to Jared White out of the backfield. That's more like it on the 19-yard touchdown. Cats up 10-0. Late in the half, now 10-3. Cal Poly looking to get a little closer. Bo Kelly over the middle, but he's picked off by Cole Taylor. Last thing the Mustangs could do there, it would lead to a Cats field goal to make it 13-3 at the half. Second half, the Cats get the ball first. They get back to what they do best, run the football. Julius Davis runs over the safety at the goal line, makes it a 20-3 game. Then in the first play of the fourth quarter, 1st and goal at the 4, Lamson, play action, decides to keep it. Big hit at the goal line, but he's in. 5th rushing touchdown of the season for him. Was never really in doubt after that. Montana State wins their 6th straight. Big game at Northern Colorado next week. Casey Conlon for MTN Sports.
Despite the offense kind of having a slow start, Ty Gregorak, the defense was phenomenal once again for Montana State for the most part. I mean, it took forever for Cal Poly to get over the century mark.
Yeah, and you know, we've come to expect Montana State to be so dominant on defense. Keep in mind now, they went on the road and held the team to 241 yards. I mean, Cal Poly was 2 of 12 on 3rd down, Ben. You know, they gave up some stuff coverage-wise. You know, I mean, people, you know, they got scored on. It's going to happen. But, you know, again, they went on the road, 17 points to a team that's given a lot of teams some fits this year, and beaten, you know, Sac State a few weeks ago. They were good. But this guy, Ben, my goodness.
What a night.
He had a great night. The juice was loose, and my goodness, career night for him. It was impressive. Nice job by the old line.
Yeah, you look at the stat line, 175 yards on the ground for Julius Davis, a touchdown. He averaged 9 yards per carry. That was the big thing for me.
Yeah, you know, I mean, and that's where you can just see he's healthy again. He's running through guys, he's running around guys, and he's jumping over dudes, Ben. I mean, he's impressive.
As you look at the final stats from this one, like I mentioned, 241 total yards for Cal Poly tonight, 466, a pretty balanced attack from that Bobcat offense tonight. 36 minutes in terms of time of possession for the Bobcats. What's the big thing that stands out to you there?
Well, that bottom one right there. You know, the Bobcats were over 50% on 3rd down, and you take two for 12 as a defensive player and coach any day of the week. So, yeah, I mean that was in a very kind of clunky, weird, not very rhythmic first half. I thought things came together very well in the second half for the offense. And again, defense gave up a couple, but my goodness, that defense is still, I think, one of the best in the country.
Meanwhile, Montana traveled to Sacramento State on Friday night for a nationally televised game against Sacramento State, where the war of words between the programs led directly into a battle on the gridiron. MTN's Kyle Hansen recaps an emotionally charged game.
In what was a wild week leading up to Montana's game against Sacramento State, the Grizzlies quieted all of the noise as Montana walked away with a 49-35 victory over the Hornets and improved to 8-0 on the season.
We played well in all 3 phases. I thought our guys played hard. I thought they played physical. I thought they dominated the physical battle. You know, the JV was ready tonight.
All week long, the buildup was palpable for the highly anticipated matchup between Montana and Sacramento State. The banter and outside noise were the talk of many, but the Grizz found a way to block it out, focus, and go on the road to a hostile environment.
I think we got a very disciplined and mature team. We know what the task is at hand, so I think we come in and worry about what we need to worry about, you know? All the other outside stuff is outside stuff. It nothing to do with us. We know what we need to do. We took care of it.
Amazing, man. I mean, there was a lot of talk, you know, they tried to get chippy before, you know, try to get us out of our game, but
At the end of the day, man, great teams are going to keep winning. We're going to find ways to win each and every day.
The story of the game was the hometown return of Michael Wortham, who once again dazzled and put on a show. With 50-plus family members in attendance, the Sacramento native scored 3 touchdowns and put up 238 all-purpose yards as the Dual athlete shined under the national spotlight with some extra motivation.
Fun fact, they actually skipped me on recruiting 3 times out of high school, JUCO, and when I was in the portal. They said they didn't have enough money for me. I felt like I wanted to prove something. I wanted to prove my worth, and show them what they've been missing, and I'm glad we got the win.
The game was a shootout in the opening half, with Sac State's offense finding plenty of success. But late in the second quarter, until the final minutes of the fourth quarter, the Grizz defense buckled down.
So we settled in and we played better. And one of the things we talked about as a team was if they couldn't run the ball, they couldn't beat us, and that ended up being pretty factual.
It was a statement win for the Grizzlies, who were on the road for just the second time this season. From gritty offensive performances to gutsy special teams moments that shifted momentum to key defensive stops, and all the drama in between, the game offered everything as Montana rose to the top and improved to 8-0.
I don't think focus is an issue for this group ever. I don't think preparation's an issue. If somebody's good enough, they'll beat us, but they're going to have to outplay us. Nobody is going to out-prepare or be more focused than we are.
The Grizzlies are back on the road for the second straight week next Saturday when they head to Ogden, Utah to take on Weber State. Reporting in Sacramento, California, Kyle Hansen, MTN Sports.
Still ahead, to Missoula we go for the state cross-country meet. Find out which teams and runners finished ahead of the pack when Sports Extra continues.
MTN Sports Extra continues after this. Welcome back to MTN Sports Extra, powered by MontanaSports.com.
Montana is a state that has produced elite distance runners each and every year. And there's no better showcase than the state cross-country meet. MTN's Slim Kimmel takes us to the golf course at the University of Montana for the 2025 competition.
Class A boys getting us started at the 2025 All-Class State Cross-Country Meet. 2-time reigning champion Finn Schrettenthaler of Livingston out front with the lead group. And make that 3-time Class A state champion Schrettenthaler crosses the finish line in 15:29.7 to the Class A girls now. And this one was dominated by Central freshman Addison Kegel. She flies to a class record time of 17:48.8. Hardin sweeps the Class A team titles for the second straight year. Let's go to the AA girls now, and perhaps the race of the day. 2 Kalispell Glacier runners out front in the lead group, and look at this. Freshman Ada Thiel kicks past teammate Lauren Beeson for the win. Thiel with a time of 18:21.89. To the AA boys, and no surprise here, Bozeman runners in the lead group. And it's Miles Halverson across the line first in 15:34.5. Teammate Taylor Neal was second as the Hawks go 1-2, and Bozeman sweeps the Class AA championships. Shifting over to the Class B boys, and check out the emotion from playing sophomore John German. He crosses the finish line in 16:02.4 to beat Harlem's Ethan Walker by less than 2 seconds. The kiddos having fun here too as the Class B girls get underway. That's Townsend's Kyla Meisner out front early, and she cruises to the individual title in 19:32. Harlem boys and Jefferson girls win the Class B team trophies. And in Class C, the lead girls going stride for stride early, but Phillipsburg's Addie Lillyquist pulls away for the win in 2014. Boys now, defending champion Dawson Park of Drummond running with a couple Cascade guys, and then Park pulls away for his second championship, this one in 16:57.4. Cascade's Trenton Lane and Peyton Johnson finish second and third to help the Badgers win the team trophy, while Drummond takes the girls' championship. Reporting in Missoula, Slim Kimmel, MTN Sports.
Well, the state soccer playoffs enter the semifinals, and in Class Single A, 3 of the 4 matchups are hosted by Northwest Montana teams. MTN's Derek Joseph leads off our coverage from the Flathead.
3 of the 4 Class A semifinal soccer matchups are being played right here in the Flathead Valley, with 1 game in Whitefish and 2 in Columbia Falls. Let's take a look at which teams are advancing to that championship round. In Stephenville versus Whitefish boys, late in the first half, it's Rowan Perkins who gets it rolling for the Bulldogs with a free kick from long distance that finds the back of the net. That would set the tone for the second half as Whitefish scored 3 more goals that half, including this one from Henry Barbieri, which extended the Bulldogs' lead to 3. And Whitefish advanced to the championship game with a dominating 4-0 shutout over Stevensville. For Lone Peak and Columbia Falls girls, the Wildcats got it going late in the first half when this ball ricochets off the Bighorn defender with Bella Mann on the attack, and it was ruled an own goal. Even though Lone Peak tied it up, Bella Mann gets the pass on the corner kick and soars above everyone to knock in the header for her first official goal of the game. Then she decided to add another one to the stat line for good measure off of a free kick pass that she puts in, and the Wildcats rolled to the state championship with a 4-1 victory. They will play Big Fork at home next week. It was a defensive battle in Polson versus Whitefish boys, so let's look at what little offense there was, starting with a goal by Donovan Beeks set up by the corner kick. Later in the half, Jack Harris puts it in just out of the reach of Maddox Bird, and we're all tied up. Neither team could score through the entire second half or extra time, so we had a shootout. And Ruger Ellis put his in the back of the net to put pressure on the Wildcats, and Bird saves the tying goal to advance Polson to the championship with a 7-6 shootout victory, and will play Whitefish next week. That'll do it for our coverage of the Class A semifinals as these teams head on to the championship round. Reporting in the Flathead Valley, I'm Derek Joseph, MTN Sports.
Windy afternoon out in Livingston, but a spot in the Class A Girls State Soccer Championship game is on the line. Big Fork made the long trip south to take on Livingston. The Valkyries came out of the gates swinging. 6th minute, and Peyton Gunlock rips this left-footed shot into the back of the net, and it's a 1-0 lead. Livingston looking to answer. Breakaway opportunity for Phoebe Alverson, but she can't put it on target. Second half now, shot on goal by Gunlock and a scramble in front of the net, but Ranger keeper Carly Bober there to cover it, keep it a 1-goal game. Now a golden chance for Livingston's Lorelei Iverson, but Big Fork keeper Ireland Vigil able to get a hand on it. And Gunlock's early goal proved enough as Big Fork advances to the Class A girls title game with a 1-0 win. In Livingston, Alec Boffinger, MTN Sports.
Just ahead, a full slate of Frontier Conference football games will make stops in Butte and in Havre. That's next.
We'll be right back with more MTN Sports Extra.
It's been over a decade since MSU Northern won more than a single game in a season, but the Lights have a chance to surpass that total with a favorable schedule down the stretch starting today against Rocky Mountain College. MTN's Will Charlton has the highlights.
Welcome back to MTN Sports Extra, powered by MontanaSports.com.
Last time these two met, the Lights ended a lengthy conference losing streak, but Rocky looking for some revenge in Havre. Although it's MSU Northern that comes out with determination, here's Rex Williamson finding a big hole, and that's a rush of over 20 yards. A few plays later, and it's the Lights still moving as it's former Big Sandy Pioneer Braden Klein punching it in for the touchdown. Northern up 7-0. But from there, they call them the Battling Bears for a reason. Rocky quarterback Trent Nobach throws it up to Darius Haskin down the sideline for a big gain. Only 2 plays later, it's Nobach throwing it to the end zone, and once again making a great catch is Haskin to tie this thing up at 7 apiece, and Haskin lets us know he's fired up about it.
Pass is complete to Jonathan Goins.
Next Rocky possession, Nobach connects with Tough Adams on the screen, but the ball pops loose, although Adams was marked down. Bears then get another score as Adams rushes it in from a yard out, and it's Rocky going on to win 35-21.
Hey folks, Luke Shelton here in Butte at Bob Green Field, and the best start to a season in Montana Tech football history continues as the Orediggers host Mayville State. Tech looking to run its record to 8-0, so let's get right to those highlights. Well, Tech's offense getting right to work as Jarrett Wilson with a deep shot to Nick Michelotti on the Orediggers' first drive. And now the two will connect again, and this time it'll be for a 25-yard touchdown as Tech scores less than 4 minutes into the game. Then Mayville State turns it over on downs, and Tech marching again as Wilson hits the Butte High product Dylan Snyder for a big gain. And now Wilson calls his own number, and he's going to jet in from 15 yards out and quickly give the Orediggers a 2-score lead. Comets back on offense now, but the pitch is jarred loose, ball on the ground, and there for the scoop and score is Cole Graham, and it's a 20-0 lead for Tech in the first quarter. And now it's going to be another botched pitch for the Comets, and after a brief battle, it'll be Tyler Kovic recovering the ball. And that'll set up this as Levi Torgerson scoots in from 3 yards out, and this game quickly getting out of hand. And Tech's defense held the Comets to a grand total of 0 passing yards, and here's Peyton Gonzer coming down with the INT on Mayville's next drive. Then Wykeese Johnson capitalizes with a 12-yard score, and the Orediggers storm to a 51-0 victory, and Montana Tech has surged to an 8-0 record. In Butte, Luke Shelton, MTN Sports.
Still ahead, the high school football regular season is in the books. We'll break down your postseason brackets. That's next.
Welcome back to MTN Sports Extra, powered by MontanaSports.com.
Well, this marks the final weekend of the regular season for high school football teams in Montana, which means the playoff brackets are set. Once again, here's MTN's Will Charlton to break down the impending postseason in the Treasure State.
The high school football regular season has concluded, and playoffs start up for all classifications next week. But let's check out some of the top moments from games in Week 9.
Starting with a game that determined the winner of the Northern Beat in a battle of unbeatens. It's Glasgow and Malta, but the Scotties ran all over the Mustangs, big in thanks to Kai Gamis' 4 rushing scores. That's not it, though, as Gamis also threw for 1 in Glasgow, who finishes a perfect 9-0. Scotties win 38-13. In Class AA, this was a battle for the 6th seed in the Western Division. Capital threatening, but the Bruins fumble near the goal line. And that's the closest they get to scoring as Butte pitches a shutout. And here's Brader Gray throwing a deep ball to Cody Kirsten to help the Bulldogs get the 17-0 playoff clinching W. Another playing game, if you will, in Class A as Butte Central searches for its first postseason berth since 2019. The Maroons airing it out now as Ryan Peoples finds Ryan Nagel, and Butte Central clinches their spot with a 38-27 win. The annual crosstown game in the Electric City. Great Falls going for an 8th straight win in the series, and this touchdown pass from Tristan O'Leary to Steele Harris gave the Bison a lead they never give up. And it's the Bison forcing a fumble here en route to a 16-3 win. Lastly, back to Class A, where the Central Division's number 2 seed is up for grabs. And it seemed like East Helena wanted it more. Here's Barrick Schumann setting up a deep one, which is caught by Parker Taylor to set the tone. And then it's Schumann cruising through the Lewistown defense to help his Vigilantes get it done 42-6. Now we'll look at the playoff brackets. In AA, Great Falls' win over CMR gives it the 5 seed, while Butte will face CMR next Friday. In Class A, Butte Central will head up to Whitefish, while East Helena will host a playoff game for the first time ever against Glendive. Glasgow gets the top seed in the Northern B, facing a team they've already beat in Missoula Loyola. Defending state champion Malta is a 2 seed and hosts Anaconda. 8-man isn't fully solidified yet as Fairview and Ekalaka faced off Saturday night for the right to play Fort Benton. Accurate pairings will be on MontanaSports.com this coming week. And a look at 6-man's bracket where Jordan clinched the 1 seed in the East with its win on Saturday.
Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Sports Extra, but remember, the conversation continues online. You can find full brackets and pairings for high school football, soccer, and volleyball, and a recap from state cross country. Have a great night. We'll see you next week on Sports Extra.
Thanks for watching MTN Sports Extra. For more coverage, visit MontanaSports.com.
When you